Signs you might get fired soon. Life can sometimes play a swift one on you. You may experience sudden learning curves, as there are only a few predictable human activities. Unpredictability surrounds almost everything we do as humans. Only very few see a sack from the workplace coming. As on many occasions, you might feel like, I'm killing this. I'm contributing my quota in the best way possible. And thus, a sack is the very last thing on your mind. In most situations, the news of your sack can come as a sort of rude awakening. More like a surprise, as one might even find it challenging to come to terms with it immediately, and also in the years to come. But one thing that is always unifying in all these experiences is that only very few individuals are oblivious of the red flags that might have preceded the actual sacking. If you can recognize the signs that you're about to get sacked from your workplace, then you have a better chance to improve on a lot, especially if it has to do with issues within your control. This time, you can spend considerable time meeting influential people within the organization, in a bid to launder your image and maybe, in the long run, prevent what's coming. In the course of this compilation, we would be talking about the visible signs you need to watch out for if you're about to get sacked in the workplace, in order not to allow for you to get caught unawares. Right from the downsizing, which is inevitable as a result of mergers, to periodic performance reviews, which can be real red flags you need to recognize. Losing your job can be disheartening, especially in a period of unpredictable growth, and a whole lot is going on in the corporate world. Losing your job suddenly can shock you, especially if you're of the line of thought that you have grown deep roots within the establishment. Well, here is how you can know if you're getting sacked in no time. This way, you can lessen the pain for yourself and get back on track in no time. Let's get into it, shall we? You are increasingly being left out of the loop. One of the best ways to know you might get the boot from the workplace soon enough is the fact that you're being left out of crucial decisions to be made for the establishment. Or you're no longer getting invited to important meetings, tea parties, and other essential communal gatherings. This can even be obvious if you're the type that has risen to become a part of the upper echelon of the company. You should be afraid if this is the situation with you at your workplace. Of course, regularly, you're always an integral part of the company's decision-making. Then suddenly you're being left out, and you don't know much about what is happening. This may be a real red flag for you to consider, although there may be rare situations where there are other reasons this is happening. But if it's becoming increasingly difficult to access relevant company data that would help you improve in your job, data you previously had access to, your mail is being left out of the company mailing list, you're not getting those crucial mails, then you may have to start looking for alternatives. All this may be happening in quick succession, and it only points to the fact that there are chances that the leadership of the company or platform you work for has undoubtedly lost the confidence and trust they once had in your capabilities, and this is very likely to make you bare when the layoffs start. Bad reviews don't stop coming in. In the real sense of what a bad review of your work might be, or the query is assigned to you to ascertain how you made some crucial decisions, or you made use of the company resources, all these may not point directly to the fact that you're about to be sacked. The negative evaluation you get may not necessarily translate to the bad omen of an impending sack. It can also mean real trouble. When these reviews start coming in that there's a paper trail of warnings, then maybe you need to start packing your bags. With the periodic notices you get, it's very likely that at the crucial moments, your employer would just have to look at all the files on the table regarding every employer, and he may have to make decisions in that manner without having to see you on a one-on-one basis. A performance review is more likely to be conducted to highlight the gray areas. Michael Kerr, a widely recognized business speaker, is also of the same opinion. The celebrated author of The Home Advantage opined that more than one review in quick succession is a very bad sign. Although depending on the time that the first critical review was given, you might be able to turn your fortunes around. But when it comes in quick succession, your job may be in trouble. When your reviews are in and they're filled with some discouraging phrases in quick succession, then you might be in a big problem. When you see phrases or comments like, "You're not a good fit for our work culture," "Your style does not fit our aspirations," "You are not a team player," "You have a major attitude problem," then maybe it's time you move off to somewhere you're better suited. Hearing or seeing comments like these pass the central message that your attitude is considered unfixable, and you are increasingly seen as not fit for the job. You have fewer projects coming your way. This is another right way to know you may be sacked anytime soon. There's a high possibility that your employers at the top are thinking in the lines of, he or she would soon be sacked, so why bother giving many projects? If you're oblivious to this, you try to get more projects to work on yourself. The more you're stifled, and no one is ready to cooperate with you. This may be a sign. Not a lot of work is assigned to you. At least it has been so for a period now, and you don't know what to think. Well, this is a possibility, and altogether your work life is being made increasingly difficult. This may be the time to move on from your workplace mentally, so you would not be too shocked when it finally happens. Your job has suddenly become so difficult. This is also one of the commonly unseen signs that you're about to be given the boot in your workplace. People are not quick to recognize this, as they're quick to interpret it as the boss having confidence in your capabilities, and they just want to give you more duties to accomplish. But there's also the possibility that you're being set up to fail. This can even become more recognizable when you're given tasks that do not relate to your skill set in any way, and you have to keep running from pillar to post to do the jobs. When you think back, this had deviated in a big way from how your roles were assigned when you first started working. Now it seems as you being given a small canoe to paddle across the Niagara Falls. Experts have consistently posited that lousy leadership mostly adopt this method. There is the possibility that there's not enough evidence to nail you, but by increasing giving you tasks, you're being set up to fail. You fail to meet any of the numerous deadlines you're given. Seen as incompetent, and you're quickly booted out without any prior warning, in most cases. You are being ignored. This seems very obvious, but many would still not get the message. They're quick to attribute this to personal ethical conflicts, or maybe some out-of-the-workplace issues in some instances. Well, this may mean in a massive way that you're about to get sacked. It seems you're being worked remarkably, or your boss appears to be watching your every move. You feel as if there's a target on your back, and other coworkers are gawking at you increasingly. Altogether, you're becoming uncomfortable in a place you once shared drinks and playful banter in. Now it seems as if everyone is waiting for your mistake. Well, there you have your sign. You feel betrayed. There's a lack of trust in the workplace, which makes it seem you're being ignored. Then coupled with this, you seem to be so stagnant with completing your projects. Your boss has warned you many times over. No matter the angle you choose to look at it, or no matter the relationship you feel you have with your boss, getting a warning is never a good thing. Take note, if you've received verbal warnings, periodic written warnings, then there's a high chance you have bad news coming your way. A boss deciding to warn you highlights how a direct leadership chooses to work with the coworkers. When you get warnings or reprimands from time to time, this may be an indication to start packing your bags. Your perks are fast disappearing. This is a perfect way to start considering finding your way out. The perks you enjoy at some point is gradually being taken away from you. Take, for instance, your colleagues at work are sent for a conference in Ontario, and everyone is flying business class, while you are asked to pay your ticket, or you're told to fly coach. Your corner office is taken from you, and you're relocated to a tighter office. The perks you enjoy at your workplace is what you deserve, and if you sense that these are gradually being taken away from you, then you have the right to be worried. You are no longer being complimented for your job. People or your boss being appreciative of what you do for the company, how you complete the tasks you're given, sure goes a long way. But when you start noticing that no one seems to appreciate you anymore, you are being ignored, and no one even cares if you complete your task or not, then you should start thinking there may be fire on the mountain. Getting appreciated for what you do sure leaves a good feeling. But when it seems that even if you perform a miracle, one that's never been witnessed before, you might not also be acknowledged by your boss, then maybe it's time to start packing your bags, as you may be sacked real soon. Teamwork is sure not your thing. For many, they are not your typical teamwork person. Many prefer to work on their own, on an individual basis. But for most companies or organizational structures, you have to take one for the team sometimes. Most experts in this niche have always talked about this on many occasions. Well, if you're the type that does not do well with teamwork, then maybe you have to find something you're better suited for. Your boss seems to be on your case every time. Finally, this is the last point I'd be talking about. Sometimes when your boss seems too persistent, and in your case you're being asked for updates, time for submissions, your deadlines keep appearing shorter, your boss keeps asking you to report to him. Do not be quick to interpret this as what would give you an edge over the others, or a form of preferential treatment. You might just be closer to the exit door than you could have imagined. If your boss continually monitors your job, there's a high possibility you are likely to be sacked real soon. and you may have to start looking for a new job. Finally, all the points that have been highlighted may point to the fact that you're about to be sacked, but this may not be the case in all circumstances. There are other unique situations that you have to pay special attention to for you to know if you're going to be sacked real soon.